Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the new moon readings. I know, if you know, with the timeline, the full moon, the second full moon Capricorn just crossed us yesterday. So we're a little behind. We're behind. It's where we're at right now, and we're just going to roll with it because I love to be on time. I love to be precise. So there is the shadow work for any of the perfectionists out there, the ambitious, the structured, so much earth energy is coming through. We were going to sit down and do earth today, but instead it's fire. It's fire all the way through. There's no way we can't do fire right now. So when I say that sometimes the elements for the moon cycle come out in different orders, this is what I mean. Okay, the elements, when you work with them, especially as a whole, as a feminine, they start to really have a say, like where you surrender to what must be. And right now it's fire. Fire needs to be discussed. We need to talk fire, which is kind of funny because with new moon Cancer, it's the water element. So we do that first after ether, after we do the general collective consciousness energy with the ether element, we get straight into whatever the moon cycle's in. And with Cancer, it was water. And now the flip is going to be fire. I literally tried, if you look in my notebook, tried to do feminine elements and then masculine elements. So it was going to be earth today. We were going to sit down. We were going to discuss all the good earthy stuff. And I've not been sitting here for 5 minutes and it's fire. Okay, so we're going to roll with that. I lit the candle, if you don't know. This is our divine feminine candle on the altar, the circle of us all sitting there communing, okay? And today, the fire, it's what we're communing about. So if you're new here, hi, welcome. What a way to start. We smoke, we swear, we're adults, we're feminines. This is how we do it, okay? So if you don't like it, it's fair. It's totally fine. You don't have to like it. And for all the YouTubers out there that do feel the need to hide adult parts of themselves, this is a platform made for adults. Let's not forget that for 1 second, especially moving forward when it's going to be really important to differentiate between adults and non-adults. You can't sit with us right now because we're adulting, okay? Hence the fire. Okay, so new moon and full moon cycles is how we read the tarot around here. It's how we cut the calendar and do the timeline. So new moon Cancer passed us about 2 weeks ago. We are just crossing out of Cancer season now and getting into Leo fire. See, it all makes sense. When you think about it, it just makes sense. It just breaks down and it makes so much sense. So I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling all of the things that come with fire. So in terms of the chakra system, that is the solar plexus. Okay, that's all of our power. On the other side of our will and our power and the things that we can force out of our energy, our personality, whatever the fuck kind of mood we're in that day. Other side of that is shame. Okay, so the things that we do with our power and we feel ashamed about it. We don't like the energy, either the effect, our part in it, you name it. Okay, shame is a long, dirty journey and we've all been on it. And what's so funny about this now too is yesterday in the car, we were on a long drive. I was asked to go just to, be company. So I brought along a little talk and it was Brené Brown. And if you know Miss Brené Brown, she's one of my favorites. She brings all the love in my heart back to Texas, which in my heart, there's a lot of love needed for Texas, okay? And the people of Texas and the culture that they perpetuate down there. But Miss Brené Brown, she talks about shame. She talks about vulnerability. She talks about who and what we are at all the stages. And because she's a female, she does it from the feminine perspective. And she's got a lot of masculine energy like we do. Us modern feminines. We got a lot of masculine. We're not shy. We can look you in the eyes, get on a fucking stage and talk about it. And I just love it. I just love the synchronicities of let's talk about it, okay? What our power is and how much of it we have, especially lately, because damn, for those of us who mess with magic, spirituality, religion, the power out here right now is almost frightening, isn't it? It's almost frightening. If you're feeling a little ignorant in some of those realms that you're in through your bloodline or history and you're starting to be like, what the fuck is going on here? Trust me when I say you're not alone, okay? There's a lot of things that we're understanding personally that come through everything that came before us. Okay, there's a lot to be understood here in the realm of the human. And we're working on it. We're working on it. So starting today, we're going to get into the downloads before we get into the cards like we always do. All the information that you probably need is down in the description box. If there's ever anything that you need that's not in the description box, please leave a comment, send an email, shoot off the message, okay? Because I don't mind. I don't mind expanding. I don't mind the update. Okay. So we've got some downloads coming into this one with the fire element. It is summer season in the Northern Hemisphere where I'm at. If you don't know, I'm in Canada, Northern British Columbia, Canada to be specific. It's that season of campfires and also wildfires. Okay, there's a lot of earthquake / volcanic activity. So we're just talking about fire in terms of an element on our planet and how we have to surrender to some of the, you know, from a bylaw to a natural cycle of like, you know, volcanic activity and things like that. The sun, the solar activity. Wow. Let's talk fire. You know what I mean? So we surrender in a lot of ways our power. And I think this is a big issue to be discussed with modern man. Okay. And man, I mean like all of us under this timeline, modern man. The problem is that so much of our power is surrendered. Our time, our energy, our expectations, you know, everything that we desire in terms of skills and educate, where we would put our time if we had more free time. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's like work, kids, expectations, titles, hats that we wear. All of this takes so much of our energy that at times we feel powerless. Powerless to the system, powerless to the corruption and the abuse of power out here. So it's really important to look at your own kind of spectrum of, you know, as long as things are feeling like not delusionally so, but like you're in control of what you need to be in control of, then you won't feel like you're being suppressed in your power. So it's important we look at not doing that to ourselves. And we look at the places in our life where if it is being done to us, you know, our jobs feel like they take too much sometimes, and difficult, but simple conversations can kind of switch that energy and get things to be more cohesive. But then there are times where things press on us and suppress a part of what we call our spirit, okay? And this is where power and soul come together to create. It's like what you feel like you're meant to be doing is being suppressed. Yikes. Okay, yikes. Now you see why we're so close to the full moon while we're discussing this. Because it might not have been as relevant a week ago when we could have been reading this energy, but today, now that the full moon has already come in there with that bang kind of energy, the full illumination like it does before we start to wane and get into a reset, a new moon cycle. The timeline's reset, okay, every 28 days, just like this, like fucking clockwork, like the most accurate clocks in the world clock this timeline. Do you see where I'm going? So we got to be really careful with the dark right now within ourselves when it comes to the power that we have, because it's high. Okay, we might not realize that because we don't think we're very like significant historically, but I promise you, you are. I promise you, no matter where you are on this planet, no matter what statistic or demographic you fall into, it's important right now, okay? Because this is like a once in a historic moment kind of timeline that we're in. Okay, so there's a chance here. There's opportunities for a flip. Can you see the fire today? It's wild. It's also feeling very alchemical. So let's talk about magic, witchcraft, demonology even, because if you're going to call on something to help you with your magic or the things you're creating with your power, you're bringing demonology into it. Whether you're calling on angels or demons, sister cousins, my friend. Sister cousins, okay? We're all the same family out here because we came from the same creator, source, whatever you want to call it, okay? You can't taint that. You can pretend to like put a new symbol on it, like with the Nazi symbolism that they jacked that from like ancient symbolism. So you can flip something so that in your timeline, You can't make anyone think it's something other than what it is, okay? That's the perversion and the tainted aspect. And that's why demonology is so important to understand. If you're going to be messing with stuff like magic, you know, if you, any kind of spell casting, we have talked about this before since the last moon cycle, the first full moon Capricorn. And right now we are going back into full moon Capricorn. Like, it is not a time to fuck with the unfuckable. Do you understand? We are so small, and that's that hierarchy that have the gifts and the powers that we have, okay? As the sun comes out a little bright and gives me some gold shine. Forgive the lighting or the quality if it's ever chapoot. We'll upgrade as the time comes. But anyways, getting back to it. So not really messing with stuff that's outside of our realm, you know, like it. And then there are some of us who are so brave and fearless and meant for that journey. So we really are walking that path. All the rest of us are staying in our lane when it comes to our power though, right? Like, now is not a good time to just be like whipping it around out here. It's too dangerous. Okay, so that's the first download coming through, is if you feel like you're messing in something that's a little bit too dangerous for you to be like honestly comfortable in it, out, get the fuck out of there, okay? This is an exit stage left kind of energy, and we will keep fucking repeating that until it doesn't need to be said anymore. So that comes to friends, social circles, even jobs, because as crazy as it is, like, you just don't know the people you're working for sometimes well enough to know that there's no good reason for you to want to leave this job. It seems like an excellent opportunity with excellent people, yada, 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 but something in you is like, get the fuck out. Just go, okay? This is not a time to put intuition in a place where you're like, yeah, but prove it. Like, if your intuition is screaming some shit at you, just listen right now and let time prove itself, because we are in one of those time loops. Okay, there's a lot of magic going on out here with people think that, you know, most of the people that run the world, I would say, are highly religious, at the very least occultist, and they believe in this magic. Okay, you don't eat babies and stuff like that if you don't believe in that kind of magic. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. That's so fucked up. So there's a lot of magic going on, and you don't want to accidentally slip into some shit that you just are not prepared for, okay? Not fucking prepared for. So friends, workplaces, I don't care if it's your church, you know, like, if you feel like you need to get the fuck out of a group or a community that you're in, just get out. Maybe you just need to be alone, and it's as simple as that, and there's nothing shady going down, but you are about to go through something that nobody in that space needs to be in contact with. Do you understand? So we're taking care of people, we're taking care of ourselves. I'm going to take just a second to have a quick sip of my coffee here, because I don't know if I did it. I'm all jacked up. I was sitting down for Earth, okay? And then it was like, whoosh, straight up the chakra system, like, woo! We are active, okay? We are to the point where I'm almost shaking. If I didn't have a strong sense of breath work, this would be extremely difficult for me like 7 years ago to try and perform in this energy. But I feel like bartenders, servers, you mastered it. DJs, probably the good ones. Definitely the managers of all those places have mastered the calm energy. You see how it gets me though? So very careful in the spaces, very careful with our energy to protect those around us, okay? Because we are powerful, and we don't want to be fucking up some of the people that weren't supposed to be around for that, okay? Know your audience, know who's around when you're wielding all your power or any kind of magic, okay? Cheers to you on this beautiful day. We need to calm all the way the fuck down. Fire has so much to it. You need other elements to create it. You need the earth matter. You need the air and the space. You know, fire is one of those things. So in terms of the programs that we're putting out, and all of the point of that is the alignment for the activation. So that's what we're working with when we work with fire. We align first so we can activate the fire center power. And people think they're so inexperienced with this, but nope. If you went to public school, if you did anything in a group setting for, you know, a committed period of time, like a class or anything like that, all of that is exactly that kind of energy experience where you have to put on a certain, you could call it a mask, you can call it the on switch. You have to be on, you know, you can't just be like slipping and casual and comfortable in yourself out here. It's like, no, you're in a certain setting, certain things are expected from you and certain things are not allowed. So that's the same experience. You have to activate certain elements so that you can bring that together. That's why we do alignment, to activate when power is needed, to make sure that all of those things are in alignment accurately so that we can do it efficiently. We don't want to be tired all the time. We don't want to be unhealthy. We don't want to be giving more than we have. This is mastery, okay? This is what alignment is all about, to activate so we actually have the power or the energy to get things done, whether that's some ambitious dream life or creation in this world, or that's just life, okay? The mundane has become extraordinary in freedom, because if you don't know, let me tell you, the first stage in becoming extremely wealthy is freedom. And that usually looks more like poverty than it does like wealth. But you have to understand what the core values are. What do you value? Your freedom, your time, your health, physical health, mental health, you know, the energy that you have to put into things that you actually want to create in this world, as opposed to only having enough energy to get the job done, pay the bills, feed the kids, send them off. You see the flip? You see how we flipping? Okay. We've picked our first oracle deck. We are going to start with the goddesses. No big surprise if you've been around for the moon cycles lately. We are on track. That is another reason I didn't want to move on to the full moon Capricorn without finishing up new moon Cancer. It's like, no, we still need to discuss this. Even if it is recent past energy, we're still, obviously some of us, still going through it. And it's worth discussing. So if you're bringing up the rear in the collective, or you're way out ahead of the collective, all good in the hood. Okay, we're going to do the dragons as well, because it is the season of the dragon, and nothing is more relevant in folklore and all of that right now than dragons. We've had the witches, we've had the vampires, we've had the werewolves and skinwalkers and shapeshifters, and aliens had their moment, but you can't really, I mean, can you put any of them in lore? Elves, dwarves, you name it. And now we're in like the season of the dragon, but even all of our pop culture and all of those conspiracy theories, all of those are referencing the same concept, which is the dragon. So can't be leaving them out. Okay, we're going to start with the goddesses though. Just one sec. Oh, excuse me. I'm also going to work on that breath of fire right now. There's so many amazing breathing techniques that are worth looking into right now for so many different reasons, not just health and wellness, but power, activation, and then health and wellness. Obviously a huge part of wielding power, using power, having power, even if you change that power word to energy all of those times, a huge part of it is the breath. I'm like, where do we want to go? Oh, you scared me. Jesus. Hi, baby. Come on. Come see the peoples. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Get up here. Kiwi wants to come say hi. Come on. Get up here. Stupid ass. Okay, let's get into this with the goddess oracles to start. We'll see if Kiwi makes an appearance. She does not often make an appearance, but we're reading fire, the fire element, and her papa is a fire sign, the fire sign of all fire signs, Aries. So let's see if she wants to come up. Come on, get up here. Ain't nobody got time and patience for that. She's just messing about. She's been weird all day. I don't know if it's, hey, with the claws in the shirt and the chiffon. Get up here then. Come on. Come on. Do you have as little patience as I do? Come on, baby. Oh, she's all sleepy. She wants to just come sleep. Come on. That's my girl. A little claw-like there. There's a little clawy. Say hello. There's Ishel. I don't even have to know to fucking know. Ishel's just on the bottom lurking. We have seen her so much lately. What is she about? Creativity. Let's see if I can give you some Ishel. If you've seen the other readings, you'll recognize. Go on, baby. Get comfy. She's really tense. You know, she's really in the mood for affection, and it's been weirdly windy. If any of these things are resonating for you, it's been weirdly windy lately. That's my girl. She's going to settle in now. She's going to stay with us for the whole reading, too. So, you know, the softer parts of fire, fire is not known as an element in a personality archetype, especially like Aries and stuff, for being emotional. Okay, but they are some of the most compassionate people you could ever imagine if you can get in there. And it's not a big resistance thing. Like, it's more about the safe space. You know what I mean? If you can show that type of fire energy that it can trust you, it will always be there for you. It's like a lifelong loyalty kind of thing. So let's think about that in terms of an element and magic and power. If you can show your power center, so there's 3 chakras and then you get into the heart. The solar plexus, the power chakra, the fire center is the last one before we get into heart. And how could you get close to the heart with that wall of protection? Okay, so it's a very important element to master if you want to create anything that's truly, you know, big, chunky, powerful, purpose-filled, you know, whether that's a relationship, a child, a business, a brand, expression. Creativity is all of those things. And you need that you need that fire center, to have that kind of power. Even if you think about birthing, the birthing process, you need to have some serious power as a female to be able to do that, to be able to withstand that. Okay, so shout out to the mamas out there giving life, birthing fucking strong men and intelligent, beautiful women. Woo! Wow, do you see Lilith? And then we also got another Baba Yaga and Hathor. Holy fuck balls. I'm just gonna say it because I'm floored. We haven't seen Baba Yaga in a long time, for at least like a year. But Hathor and fucking Lilith, they've been out here lately in terms of the goddess energy. So Hathor is going to be on the bottom with pleasure. We're going to talk about that a lot in this reading because we just did. Okay, so the water reading is already up. The sacral chakra right beneath the fire center is the water center. And that's what Hathor is all about. But these are the 2 cards coming out for our reading. So let's start here. Lilith has her own moment, as she always does. Dark feminine energy, the original, okay, the original energy. This is big mama energy in the biggest way. Okay, if Lilith birthed the demons, then she is counterpart to the angels. That's the in-laws. I never believed that Lilith was dark, and then I learned about the birth chart and stuff, and I looked at my chart and I'm like, oh, that's why. Because of where Lilith is in my chart. Of course, I didn't believe it was dark, because if you ever related to a witch being burnt at the stake or anything along the lines of that level of oppression of the feminine power, that comes from this. That comes from Lilith. Okay, the archetype, the great mother of demons. This is just dark feminine, free feminine energy. And when any energy is free, it is free to be dark as well. There's no such thing as evil that is like gender specific, culture or race specific. We as I'm going to say creatures. We as creatures that have walked this earth have found ways to become evil and light in counterbalance. You know what I mean? So, and that's like right down to the creatures too, because that's just how the universe is. It's very carnivorous. Life is never born without death and carnage, you know? So, that's a great representation of us in our dark feminine. I love that. On the other side, because I am going to put her on the other side, I think. She might be staying with wild woman Baba Yaga, and Lilith power might be staying on just the left side of the altar today, on this side, which for you guys is the, anyways, this side. Okay, so, oh God, I spit. I hope you didn't see that. Wild woman. Look at all the fire in her cape, in her crown, in her gown. Okay, and then she's got looking like a big oar, you know, and that's just the wand stirring the cauldron, mixing it up, wild and free and powerful. So again, the message coming through that there is so much power available. We don't want to be messing in realms that we don't know anything about, unless we are so called there we couldn't resist no matter what. And then no, walking into those realms, those rooms, those circles, that might be our destruction. Both of these women have a highly destructive, dark element to their lore. Okay, so know that this could be the last time that you do this, that you walk this, that you experience this, that you live. This is that energy. Okay, so again, the magic, the power, not to be fucked with right now. Not to be fucked with. Okay, and then everything else out here is our job. It's our part in the bigger picture. You see the mother and the crone too, like, not fucking about. The feminine energy, we've been talking about it. If you are new and this is the very first video by EBINOTTI you have ever seen, hi. There's a lot of content on this channel. Just get in there, baby. Get yourself comfy. Make a Netflix kind of night out of it and just crack that egg right open, because it's time. Okay. Lilith all fucking tatted up with the braids and everything. You just wait until you see the kind of braids and shit that I come out with in the very near future here. We're getting fucking braided up in a big way. Do you know when they braid their hair? They braid their hair for war. They braid their hair for birth. Any kind of a ceremony, a battle, an event. It's time to braid it up. We've been wild and free out here, eh? For a long time. But you see how it's, yeah. Oh, Mooshie. I scared her. Come back here. I scared her. I touched her with the cards. I'm not used to having her in my lap. Come here. Hey, Shiki. Hey, my Shiki. Come here. What was I gonna say there about the braids and the, oh yeah, okay, so Baba Yaga's the one out here wild and free, but she's in her crone phase. So that means that cycle is over and it's time to do something a little more willful, you know? And when we do willful things, we typically put our hair back. You see where that's going? It's like as soon as you put the hair up, you know she's gonna do something. Could just be the dishes. Could be something serious. It could be anything. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck is just laying. Oh, that's what I call her when she's being so cute and so random and cat-like, like all in her element. She just flopped out in front of the altar. We got an altar like right behind this bookshelf right here. There's an altar. She just flopped out right in front of it. She just like, pa. I'm gonna fucking stay, but I'm not fucking with those. She does not like the cards. With the flicking and the, she's just not used to it. I met Kiwi when she was 5.5, 6. She's almost 10 now. She's 10 in September. My baby, I just love her so much. Okay, we're gonna get out 1, maybe 2, who knows, of the dragons here. We only need 1. Hathor with pleasure on the bottom is really teaching us all about it. I'll show you her in a second, and we'll see her all throughout this reading as well, because we always pull up the cards. What was that? On the bottom, air and fire. Boy, oh boy, have we been talking air and fire, and we have seen this dragon quite a bit. So this is going to be the theme for our reading. I'll grab our card for the reading in 1 second, but let's read this. Expands your creative energies. Remember we saw Ishel on the bottom over here, just floating around, that goddess about creativity. Expands your creative energies. Air and fire as elements are both masculine. So this is creation from action. Activated energy through fire. You see the volcano, that's a lot of active energy. And the air brings it up all the way through the chakra system to come out. You can either see the vision and create from that air chakra of the third eye, or you can speak it into existence. Write it, speak it. Okay? That's how fire and air come together. Harness your creativity, excitement, and enthusiasm. Volcanic explosions. That's massive. Communicate your passion. So anything that makes you feel really, truly activated, like a literal erupting volcano, is the thing that you can speak on. Obviously, there's a lot of sexual energy that comes with this because this is masculine on masculine energy. So it's only penetration. Okay, it's only the spear. Now you know why Hova does his whole... Okay. Where's our card? On the ground. Here we go. Earth and water. Wow, oh wow. So gotta show it because there it is. Air and fire, those are your masculine eminent elements. And earth and water, those are your feminine elements. Okay, so that's what we look like back to back in beautiful... I haven't seen this card ever, if not in ages, because I don't even remember this one. So earth and water, let's give that a read. Creates the foundations for new growth, feminine on feminine. When the two feminine elements are in alignment, new growth is the natural thing. It's called fertile ground. It's got earth and it's got water. All you need is a seed. Theme. All you need is a seed. You can pick the seed. You can decide what kind of vegetation you want to grow, and that can be metaphorically put on anything, okay? A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. Hey! Hey! Can you see her? Mushiki! Mushiki Ami! Ma'am! No, ma'am! What in the fuck is going on out here? I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know. Because this is bottom of the deck, I am going to put it on the altar because I'm just loving the synchronicities and the balance on this side. So the dragons are going to be together over here, and then Lilith and Baba Yaga are going to be together over here. It's feeling too good not to. So that means we have a new bottom of the deck for our dragons. Wow. And we get the blue dragon from Pleiades. You know about the Pleiadians, you know about Orion's belt, you know about Sirius and all. Yeah, cool. Prepares you to accept source healing. You make sure that's the right source now. Accept a heart activation, give and receive heart healing. Look at that. That's the frequency. That's the thing. That's the alignment, okay? And we don't fuck with, because we already discussed that, we don't fuck with things that are not ours. Okay, they're not meant for us. There's no contracts. There's no reason to be stepping in there except for distortion, perversion, abuse. And you know that's the name of the game, has been the name of the game for a very long time. So be very careful, because on the way out, a power on the way out. Empires fall. Historically, you can go back and like read all about the different empires if you're curious. There's stories galore. As empires fall, it's never like just boom, you know. We have like the Atlanteans who, the Mayans disappeared, and things, the Yucatan and all that kind of thing. Oh, they just disappeared. Great. Everybody else had an empire that we can just see how it went. On the way out of power, the amount of perversion, distortion, abuse was high. Everything ends in excess. Have you ever heard that before? Everything ends in excess. It's the natural cycle out here. Mother Nature, any kind of disease or imbalance that springs up on Mother Nature's surface, it always excessively blows itself out. It burns, the disease burns itself out. The virus burns itself out. You ever heard that? The fever burns itself out. That's the final stage. And that very much so is where we're at, okay? So, prepares you to accept source healing is just what we're all getting right now as a timeline. Again, historically, each and every one of us is significant because we're alive in this timeline. Therefore, we are at least that statistic. Okay, so accepting what is for us and getting the power to get the fuck out of there if it's not. Oh, I'm very excited about this. The Zen Tarot. we're doing the Zen Tarot. If you're curious about the decks that we use, my entire collection is listed and linked down in the description box. Please do check that out if you are interested. If ever there's anything missing from the description box, like information, links, yada yada, drop it in the comment section and I'll update it lickety split, okay? So the Zen Tarot. Highly recommend this deck. I think it's called the Osho Zen Tarot. Highly recommend this deck for beginners, novice, and masters alike. It is a beautiful, refreshing take on the tarot. And also one that I just relate to very, very well. It's got a Eastern philosophy and therefore philosophical vibe to it, and I really like that. Just to switch it up a little bit. Okay, I'm in the Western world, if you don't know. Hi. I am a West Coast Canadian. Born and raised. I love it here. I love where I live. I love Canada. I've been all over the western part of the world. I look very forward to seeing the rest of the map in my lifetime. But I love where I'm from. I love it here. If this is all I ever got, it would be my garden and I would be satisfied. Okay. So beautiful satisfaction energy coming into the fire space, which is very, very important when we have this much power to work with, because we can get a little fucking chaotic in our other spaces. We saw the mix of air and fire being very relevant out here. So if your mental space is going haywire, meaning anything from the heart rate up, it's because this is not in balance. There are some things that the fire center knows, which means the heart has the wisdom, but the mind is completely shutting down. There are beliefs, there are, all the things from limiting beliefs, cognitive dissonance, to straight up fear coming into that realm. So just being careful, again, being careful within the mental space. If we're really struggling up here, we need to work on the breath. We need to work on anxiety, the solar plexus, the heart, all the things, okay? There was something else coming through there and I can't remember what it is. We're going to take just a quick sec before we get into tarot and have a little chit chat, as we do sometimes here. Cheers to you. It's a little cold. It's a little... Do things ever like completely change the way that they taste sometimes to you? It happens a lot. It happens a lot ever since the pandemic, and we learned about the ascension process being fucking with the senses. See, smell, see, but that. Okay, and then they're like, oh, COVID totally takes away all your flavor. And it's like, of course it does. Of course it does, because that's what we're working on in Ascension right now. Fuck you, I see what you're doing. You know what I mean? There's this whole, woo, we can get spinning on the wheel, a little crazy out here. So off the hamster wheel, lounging in our cozy little bed of straw, thinking about the things. Otherwise, it's best not to live in the mental space right now. Some of us, the third eye is very, very strong, and we handle, I don't know, a lot of earth signs and stuff. When I observe, they handle this energy really well, and they can live in the mental space and do the most for themselves and the world right now. Like, we need that. But like, as a general energy is like, no bueno. Especially if you're an earth sign. If you're an earth sign like Gemini and Libra, I'm not even gonna talk about Aquarius because they're like always on their own game. But if you're an air element sign, like your sun sign, or even your ascendant, like mine's Gemini, don't fuck with the mental space. Focus on the mental space, staying calm, confident in its power center, okay? And everything around you that does not play into that power center need to go. It need to go. Some people even need to take a little time off work right now, and it's just the energy we're under. It's just like kind of like your karma or dharma. You could just call it like your personality. It's like, listen, it's my vacation time. Know yourself well enough to know when is the most optimal vacation time for you, because like you do not function under this energy, or you get the most out of the vacation when you do it this way, this season, under this energy. Okay, that's my advice there. And that is dark worker energy that I am effectively sharing with you, because all of my energy worker experience is based around this energy, the dark feminine. Because I had to learn to do something. I needed to learn to do something with all of the purity, the light, the innocence, the creativity. And this was where I started with demons. You know what I mean? Like, some of us really can walk amongst demons, you know, and be totally safe, almost protected and loved and nurtured as their children and their mothers. Guys, I'm not going to get too deep into that because we have so much more content coming out on this channel. And I really feel like these tarot readings, the elementals, are base level, the basics, okay? So I try not to take it too deep, too dark, because this is not the space for it. This has to be the safe space, but some of you knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about there, so don't worry. We're not boycotting or gatekeeping information. We're just being cautious about the audience, okay? So we will get there with the deeper and the darker. Are we shuffling without a bottom of the deck? No, we can't do it. Okay, let's cut it and get the bottom. I feel like there's more downloads to come through. Maybe it'll come off this bottom. Of course it will. Of course it will. I love this deck. Are those scratches? Yeah, okay, so that little artwork you see on there, that's, we read our cards. Boom. I can't wait to show you guys with the camera facing down how beautiful our altar is that we come to and commune on. These are scratches from the slate that we read on. That's all that is. Okay, this is just a black image in a white frame with the way that they do the elemental energy. This whole deck is based on the elements, and I love it. Card number 5, if you can read Roman numerals. Give me a big, fat, black heart in the comment section if you can read Roman numerals. Love you for it. Love you for it. Don't worry if you can. It's not a thing, really. It takes 5 seconds to learn. But anyways, no thingness, nothingness. Card number 5 of the major arcana is the Hierophant, coming up as nothingness. So what was spirituality even about? What was religion trying to teach us? The spiritual aspects of the unified field, the unified consciousness, the nothingness that everything is born from. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why 1 + 1 does not equal 2. 1 + 1 always equals 3. Oh shit. Okay, the total stoner thoughts, and it doesn't even matter because it's philosophy. This is about your philosophies, your core values. So this whole reading, this is our theme, okay? We're going to talk about the feminine. Everything here is feminine except for our actual first, except for what would have been our bottom of the deck. Dragon, air, and fire, and he is only masculine. Okay, we got maiden, mother, crone energy here because this is technically the beginning. I'm gonna put him down. This is technically the beginning. New start, mother energy, crone energy, and all of it being seeded by the purest, most balanced, activated, functioning, skilled, experienced, courageous, bravest, capable genetically specimen. It's a fucking specimen right there, and I love it. So being planted, being seeded, and also going through the natural cycles of femininity, okay? Because life and death are real out here. We have to accept this cycle. The elders that have nothing else to pass on except for their physical assets, it's time to pass those things on. The elders that have everything out here to pass on in terms of wisdom, whether it's how to change your oil or a philosophy of life, it's time to pass that on. The elders, we don't want to go anywhere. The elders don't have to go anywhere, but if they want to, they check out. And they're at the point now where they're checking out without sharing what they had to share. And it's like, that is a huge loss for the entire collective. You know, a lot of them are checking out heartbroken because they feel like no one cares, and that's not true. That might be misguided and their own, you know, power choosing something that was incorrect, but there's a lot of our elders out here that just need the attention, the respect, that one little that one little thing that makes them realize that they have a safe space that they can share their wisdom in, and it will be passed on, it will be heard. Okay, we got to listen here, learn to listen here, because there's a whole lot of us missing out if this energy taps out. You know what I mean? So not letting any kind of energy tap out here. We're all in it together, and that's what we're going to try and focus on. So the nothingness that everything comes from is our spiritual core. It's our core values. That's everything we are, you know, and in the end, we are just dust, stardust. The movie, if you don't know, we love cinema around here. So let's have a smoke and just chit chat for a second. The movie, what is it called? Polar Express? Sam Elliott's in it. It's one of my mom's old-time favorites, Sam Elliott. And let's not meet our idols. But you know, if you know, the advice at EBINOTTI is always meet your idols, because you need to know the fucking truth, okay? We cannot be out here clapping for people that don't deserve it. And the hard truth of that is, like, would we have all of the things that we call our, you know, movies, TV, music, if it wasn't for these people? Would we have all of these things? It doesn't matter, but it's time to find out. If all these people aren't in the way doing all their distorted business with the nothingness and the power that's had out here, where would we all be? Would we be the celebrities? Would we be the kings and queens and presidents and politicians? Would we be sitting on the Supreme Court? You know, would we be running our businesses and our resources and our countries better than they are? There isn't us and them out here, but this is the only one. The people who work with the nothingness, the power that we all have for dark, nefarious purposes, and the people who don't. That's the only us and them. It's a big one. It's the only hat we ever really need to define. If you are struggling with labels, what the hell to call yourself? What am I anyways? You try to write it down and you're like, I just have a list of things I can do. Jobs and stuff like that. I've had titles. It's like, you know, there's a real message in there for you in that nothingness. I like how it's like a hashtag scratched in too. You remember the pound sign? Remember the rotary phones? I don't know why, but I was just like picturing a rotary phone so hard the other day. I had to send the image to my girlfriend. She's far, far away and she hasn't called me in a long time. So I sent her the image of the rotary phone. I was like, maybe she'll call me and be like, I was thinking of a rotary phone. If she brings up the rotary phone, it's done. It's done data in my mind. You know what I mean? Do you know where what I'm saying is coming from? Telepathy, Neuralink, Elon Musk? No? Okay. If you don't know, maybe it's time to know. And if you do know, we'll leave that one right there, because, you know, there's only so much to really discuss here. And what we discuss is the power, the feminine power. So I'm not going to work on spending time digging into how people are corrupting, oppressing, and all of that. That's a different kind of work. And we will do some of that work together. You better fucking believe it. I will be out here working for the next decade or 2 or 5. Because it's just what needs to be done. From my perspective, it's exactly what needs to be done. So that's what I'm going to do. Maybe that's a message for some of you out there. We've had the elders and the mothers now come out to talk about work to be done. You understand? Work to be done. Work to be done. We should have never sent the kids to them. We should have sent the kids right here to the elders. You know? Fuck. But that's okay, because we live and we learn as a species. As we're so connected in the timelines right now, it's like so bizarre. Can feel like all this past, even if you look at like the catalogs on Netflix of like what to watch, it's like, oh, there's the timelines, there's the, you know, cycles of the earth, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy out here right now, and it's magical, and it's like being thrust into one of your favorite fantasy novels. It's like all of a sudden we woke up and we were in a world that was way more magical or scientifically unexplored than we even thought possible. And we love the fantasy genre. Like around here, we fucking love the fantasy genre. We've been fucking with magic and shit we probably shouldn't since we were way young. Okay, so that's the only thing that's called to us, is that. Okay, cheers to you. Okay, fire. Fire. She's still in the box. Did anyone see if she came out the box? Can you see the box? She's in, I don't know what she's, just like some, what is in there? Like coat hangers and, sheets that I don't know if I'll keep, just a whole bunch of like, random shit. Oh boy. The kitties, the animals are going absolutely nuts. And I just love it. I just love the connection and the synchronicity of everything going on right now. I think it's really powerful. I don't think there's a more exciting era to have been alive. You know, changed my mind. But I wouldn't trade it for nothing. You know, being alive right now and witnessing everything we're witnessing. We are the witnesses. Think of that for a second. You can collect any history that you want in the era. But 50 years from now, 100 years from now, when we're dead, my God, it's like your documented version of these events is relevant. And that's the key, okay? So we're really focusing in that historical timeline arena right now. Fire, the ambition is all from something personal. Those core philosophies are the exact thing that fuels your fire. You remember we saw the volcano? It's like, that's relevant now. For some of us, we don't know what that is. For a lot of us, I just heard. For a lot of us, we don't know what that is. Okay, what up? We will hold your hand. This is big EBINOTTI, big sis, mama energy. Okay, we will hold your hand and walk you through. We will teach you anything that we know. You just simply ask. You ask and we will tell you anything we know. We will guide you in any way that we can. Big sis energy. I don't have any kids, so it's just like big sis for me, or auntie, mom, whatever, you know, it's all the same. And it's Lilith too. Like underneath it all, we didn't have kids or we didn't do specific things the way we were told we were supposed to for a reason. That came from power. That came from Lilith. So this is something brand new coming in. Power center, activation of a skill, knowledge, understanding, and it all comes down to power for you. That's why masculine is so relevant and needed to stay out here, because that's what masculine is focused on. What can I do with this? Information, resource thing, not people, places, things, baby. All about those nouns lately. And we want to be creating nothing more and nothing less than pure and authentic pleasure. Okay? Not maleficent, malevolent. Only benevolent with that power right now. And don't let anyone, since it's underneath nothingness, there's a couple under here we've seen lately and we'll pull them out. 6 of burdens or 6 of air was coming out right underneath that, and we haven't even shuffled. This is just our theme on the bottom, so we've got some messages coming in with it. Don't let anyone tell you that focusing on what you want, what you need, who you are, what you want, focusing on what you want is a burden. Because that's a person who's riding your back. You see that? That's a person telling you that you focusing on you is not good for you, when really it's not good for them. Look at the energy here of the Page of Fire. We have read this like the Knight of Fire like 10 times, but that is the page. Playful like that, innocent like that, joyous like that. And you take that costume off and you put somebody on their back, and that's exactly the energy you get. Don't let somebody tell you that, because you know exactly why they're telling you. And it might be like might be somebody who's, you know, an authority, an elder over you. Not all elders are good people. Look no further than the authorities in the world to understand that. That's somebody's elder. That's someone's dad, grandpa. Okay. So pleasure has taken us a lot of dark places, man. The demons out here running rampant, a lot of dark places. The angels are only the opposite of the demons. There's no separation there. Their choices every day make them one or the other, just like you and me. That's why we're all siblings of Creator. That's why we're equals. And that's why some of the angels fell and became the demons, is because of that jealousy and that envy. Don't let pleasure turn you into a demon. Big messages. So many messages coming off of the Oracle cards. It's like we could just read Oracle today, which is brilliant and amazing, like fire always is. If you don't know, fire signs, people with strong fire, people that work with the fire element well, are fucking brilliant. The most creative problem solvers with the most energy to get the job done, and they are always active. It can actually be a hell of a burden to be active like that all the time. So learning to find that off switch, you know, learning to find that relaxation space. With fire, some of us really just need to lean into healthy, balanced spaces and relationships, people, places, things. Whether that's for a moment in time or an entire season, some of us need to focus on that like it's life or death. Big message. Okay, let's get our tarot spread out here. Ooh, I want to say that personal readings are still available, but I have a feeling that they're not really. So it looks like we're going to be getting busy around here with our own fire energy, as you know, because I've talked about it quite a few times, if you know. We've got programs and everything coming out this summer, so bing, bang, boom, it is time. We are launching the things, which means one-on-one personals and stuff like that, it's going to be really difficult for me to do. What do you want me to do? Okay, there's free stuff. We do the most free that we possibly can, and after that, it's straight business, baby. Okay, first card out. Ooh, you see them on the wall there, kind of behind the door. The Lovers. There he is, looking all lover-like, and you can see the Roman numeral 6 looking like a 4 because it's in reverse on the camera. Okay, we got the Lovers with all that sacred geometry between them. It's because it's about choices. Okay, the Lovers really are about masculine and feminine energy making choices within the system. So masculine energy is everything above the heart. Feminine energy is everything below it. It's an easy way to look at it if you go the heart and the mind coming together. Okay, so we don't want to be out of balance while we're making big decisions right now, because we already saw Lilith and Baba Yaga out here ready to pop off, and they do. Oh, they fucking do. Back to back sixes. The next card out is the 6 of Fire, or the 6 of Wands, looking so successful. So masculine, feminine seems to be doing a lot of wonderful things in terms of balancing and creating together. I mean, on one side now of the altar, we've got the masculine and feminine elements over here looking perfectly balanced. And our first 2 cards out are the masculine, feminine energies balancing out. And since we're reading fire, I love that it's the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Fire that came up for us. Let's talk about that for a hot second. The things that we're creating, the choices that we're making, we are being successful in them. That will continue for a little bit longer. But as you know, because we said it coming into this, full moon Capricorn's already here. So for those of us, this energy's behind us. This is what we're coming off of, and this is what we need to know. We've made some excellent decisions. Let's see what comes from that. Central energy, major arcana, the Fool, coming up here as 0 or nothingness, which we already saw, because most decks don't have the Fool as a 0. It is the non-numbered major arcana because he comes up all throughout the journey. That is the major arcana. So fearless. This is a fearless type of energy. It can be naive, it can be ignorant, but that's okay, because you learn as you go. Under this energy, you trust yourself, you trust the path. You've thought about the things and made the decisions and had the evidence, success. You've had the evidence that was needed to get the yes, the green light. And that's what this is. You've done what you needed to do, and now you can move forward with something. So for those of us bringing up the rear, you know, there's always some very cautious types or slow moving types, or people get stuck in a battle or something and makes them late for a very, very important date, that kind of energy. That's fine. You got the time. Make the choice now. jump the cliff, take the leap, drop the defenses, get ready to move. There's a preparation energy here that is allowed for those of us who, you know, prep is what we need. So prep is what you get. This is prep time, okay? And then it's go time. Next card out. Ooh, Major Arcana 17. Interesting. Look at that. The star coming up with a moon as silence. So Major Arcana 17 in the tarot is the star card. Here, we're getting a beautiful luminary in the sky coming up as like a third eye on a face. You see all of that? That's because the star energy is Aquarius. Aquarius. Literally third eye energy. Not even just air element, but third eye. Because the Aquarius is the eldest of the air element signs in the zodiac. That's why I always cut Aquarius separate, because they are separate from everything else in the zodiac. They see and understand and know faster, more accurate than anybody else. This is the age of Aquarius that we're going into or are in now, depending on the timeline. So much understanding and knowledge to be had, but the leap, the faith, the trust, the commitment has to come first. Okay, it's like you did the one thing, you made decisions, you were successful, and you got your receipts and your evidence and the thing that spiritually you needed to be able to take that leap of faith, but you're not getting anything else. This is you and I discussing it right now, the last sign that you're getting. You can go in another direction, but you're moving off of this energy, okay? The star is literally wish fulfillment. So it's the things that we choose to alchemize. It's the things that we aspire to create or be in the world. Big leadership energy coming through there, because this is training. To me, this feels like training. Oh God, I caught those ones, so that's no. But we did drop one and another got stuck in my hand. Okay, fifth and final card out before we clarify. We've got the Two of Swords, the Two of Air coming up as schizophrenia. Yikes. We started with the Lovers. Again, talking about the choices, okay? If the mental space is this chaotic and distorted right now, panicked, the breath, the heart, the mental space is really out of balance, not in a disease, but in, you know what I mean, chaos, lack of balance, and all of those things. It's because the heart already knows exactly what the choice is, and the mental space will not allow it for some reason. There's conflict within the body. That's where you get decisions that feel like you're slipping. Okay? So faith here is the real strength. If you're really struggling in like getting, you know, bravery of engaging bravery and stuff like that, and then take a quick look at all of the successes that you've had recently as an overhaul. People, places, and friends can really help with this, clarifying all the ways that you've been wildly successful, so you have that kind of strength to be that brave, to be that courageous. This is almost like shadowy feeling, shadow work like. But I don't think it's that simple. I do think it's something personal for you, okay? Because of the star being out here beside it, it's like, this is something you want so fucking bad. Like, you know, nobody's going to be able to push you off this cliff because it's about the faith. That's part of what you asked for. It's got to be personal. You see what I'm saying? Okay, we got our first clarifier out. Wow. The King of Water, the King of Cups coming out to clarify. The Lovers. So again, the heart space here, you know what I mean? The masculine, he's already totally in balance here. It's the feminine in the mental space that's fucking everything up. So typically the feminine falls out of balance like that when she's afraid. That's a fearful based energy. Can't protect the children. Can't survive. Not going to survive. Oppressive. You know, it's like a focus on victim, a focus on the fear. We're not going to make it. And this is the feminine learning how to trust the masculine, because the masculine feels it all and he's trying to give it to the feminine and she isn't willing to receive. Something in her mental space is out of balance and she can't hear the message, can't see it. You know, he's out there with the shit and he's like, yo. we got this, I got this, look, it's all set up. And she's just like, blah, running around, kind of feeling a little bit, you know, you got to calm down to be able to hear. You got to snap out of it a little bit here. So it's big enough to be that kind of fearful, which is a beautiful thing, because then we know that there's real love and value and all the good things involved here. So it's coming down to trust, faith, and without that, you know, without that kind of thing, the fire center can get really messed up. Okay, under, the 6 of fire, we get the 4 of fire with participation. Yes. So, 4 of Wands is typically about, you know, a commitment, a celebration, something really beautiful being completed. Together here, you get the 10 of fire. So it's like, you might not see your successes as clearly as they've been because of the way it felt for you and what you had to give up and the cost and all that stuff. But if you really did stop and take a look, there's so much to celebrate. There's so much to be grateful for. There's so much to give you confidence if you really look at this. And you might need like a bit of a cheerleader friend for this to be able to see clearly how well you've done and what it really looks like as a whole from the outside, because perspective is a big part of this. Okay, your participation in the successful parts of your life, your successes and others, is so significant, but all you see from it is the weight of what you've carried. So you're not looking clearly at your skills, your value, your power, all the things. Okay, so this is a real wake-up call for some people in the collective. Yeah. I already see the middle card here, clarifying our Fool. And that's the Page. Yikes. Okay, so again, the air element, you know what I mean? We talked so much about fire and air together, and we're reading the fire element. So the real shift that is needed to have that faith and trust and get the fire center all activated and in alignment in the way it needs to be, you can see the fearfulness here. The Page is only fearful in this distortion because it's new. You know, it's coming off of some different beliefs, some dark beliefs, you know, and that's why the faith can't happen. That's why the fearless leap of faith can't happen. That's why there's no bravery and no courage here, because we're not seeing something clearly. We've been lied to. Distorted. You see how chaotic and sick up that fucking mental space is? That's lies getting us there and distortions, okay? So whether we need the truth or not, some of us really need to deep dive into, like, you know, the don't meet your idols. I mentioned some things here today that you might need to look into, okay? Because there might be some real sicko shit all up in your energy field siphoning off of you and you don't even know it. You know, because that's how they work. That's how they work their magic. That's all the magic that they do, is to suck you dry. Okay? To satisfy their perversions with pleasure and to take. Okay? Cool. Cool. We need 2 more clarifiers here. Excuse me. And we can wrap it. Okay. Yeah, Baba Yaga, wild woman coming out here to be like, don't be acting up around grandma. You get hit with a slipper or a fucking club real quick if you act up around real elders. Okay? Not to mention, like, there are some distorted mothers out here, you know? There are some distorted mothers out here doing some real dark witchcraft. You do not want to mess with feminine energy that's gone completely dark right now. So if you got friends and stuff that are like all up in the dark realms right now and you just can't kick it with them, and it's like, man, I love my friend, it's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck how much you love that person. They are making their choices and you cannot go down with them unless you really want to go down with them. I don't give a fuck who that person is to you, because there's a bigger picture out here, and bloodlines and all these factions and stuff. These are real things, you know? So you might know a part of your friend, but you might not know all of your friend, okay? And that stuff matters sometimes. So go where you're guided to go and get the fuck out of everywhere else. Ooh! Under silence, the Ace of Air. Okay, so silence, again, is the star card in Major Arcana. That's air energy. And who do we get to come out? The Ace of Air energy. So this is learning to speak it, learning to know it, I just heard, which is kind of sad, but, you know, because I know how hard it was. I had a lifetime to come to some of these realizations, and nobody has that kind of time right now. Age of Aquarius happened, and that's it. You know, it's going to be like real hard for some. I want to cry for the people who are being, there's always a silver. You see how active the third eye is in both of these? There's always a place that the heart center, we saw the Lovers first, can take this to have compassion, because as mothers, the mother energy, and as crones, we know that these are our sons, these are our fathers, and these are our brothers. So the real evil right now that we're focusing on within the patriarchy of our societies, especially here in the Western world, but this is a global phenomenon. All of that has to have a certain level of compassion to it as well. Otherwise, we start another cycle. Okay, we're not going to go too deep on that. I kind of want to leave that there, but we don't want to keep repeating things. And that means that at some point, pain or no pain, justice or no justified, whether something's justified or not, we need to end the cycle. Okay, so there's a type of knowledge and understanding here that is feminine, but rooted in the air element, okay? Rooted in the masculine, because if it's a man's world, then the man needs to be the one to fix this, right? Like, in the sense that the man is not a counterpart energy that you can just ignore. That means that there are times where that energy is what's called. And right now feels like one of those times, okay? So no shade out there for the feminine or anything like that. Aces back to back. Bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Water. So air and water coming out to finish us off. And we have our final card, more Major Arcana. Coming out as the Rebel, we have Major Arcana number 4, the Emperor. He's going to be clarifying our 5th card. So let's just talk bottom of the deck for a second, because I love this ace energy. Again, the air element and the water element. Air, water. Okay, whether you use the heart water or the sacral, whichever, you know, if your heart's not active in that way and open in that way, then you literally, the go with the flow advice is so good, because first of all, stopping the resistance is going to be the number one thing to activate the heart. You have to let the heart know it can trust and take the leap of faith to just go with the flow. You see that kind of beautiful, peaceful energy, as opposed to that energy. We get consciousness. You know, the Buddhists can really teach us about that, about, you know, aligning and activating without fear. It's all natural out here, and it is the way it's meant to be, okay? So instead of running around, 2 of air, schizophrenic, instead of running around chaotic, imbalanced, potentially mentally ill, logic. Look at the Rebel out here. He doesn't care if it's never been done this way before. The Emperor does not give a rat's ass who has done it the way they've done it before, unless it's relevant, efficient, and useful. I have a use for you. Let me know if you know exactly where that quote is from. We're so random here, and I just love it. I have a use for you. I'll give you a hint, Tom Hardy. Drop it in the comment section if you know that trivia. Okay, anyways, back to it. So the 4 of Major Arcana, the divine masculine energy of the Emperor, all 4 elemental kings, earth, air, fire, water, in one. And you get this. So air is, you know, okay, to bring a quick decision about, a quick resolution about. We bring the James Bond, cool, calm, and collected energy into it. Bam! And we get the Rebel, the Emperor, which means a decision just needs to be made. It's not the end of the fucking world. He stands behind what he does every single time. He never asks for somebody else to pay the price for him or anything of the sort. He takes his consequences. He makes mistakes. He does what's necessary. Onwards we go. So to get into a balanced state, to kind of loosen up a little bit and know that you have been successful enough to call yourself an emperor. That means you're the king of kings. That means you run shit in your world and you're capable of it. So know that. My God, know that. And then shit or get off the pot, okay? Because first and last card out being about decisions means you got to make a decision here. There's something you got to make a decision about. It's probably not as big as you think it is. Because that's the biggest. Nothing could be bigger than about to drop down that into nothingness, okay? So making quick decisions because it's time, and we are very capable to make these decisions. I don't see anything out here that says otherwise. Look at this energy. Like, talk about the water and the air, you know, energy being all active and working in unison. So there's trust and faith here. The King of Water knows it. The Emperor knows it even better because he has the experience, and so do you. And that's the message there, okay? You have the experience. If you can find the silence, you'll know that. You might need a cheerleader friend type to kind of tell you what it is from their perspective so you can see and remember who the fuck you are. This is not about ego. Okay, just like Lilith was not just the mother of demons. Shit. Shit. You never dated the bad boy before? Come on. So this is understanding and real power right here. And it's coming from the third eye chakra, which I just love. I love that that's where we're going. I'm an academic. I get a lot of pleasure within the mental space, if you can't tell with all the trivia that I'm just all about lately. Okay, we're gonna leave that one right there. I'll show you the blue dragon from Pleiades one more time, just because that heart center, that space right there can do unbelievably miraculous things we are barely scratching the surface of. So this is important to keep in mind historically, because generations to follow will be building off of what we create as a foundation right now. Guys, one of the best messages I ever got to give on this channel. I want to thank you so much for being here, for doing all the work that you do on you, for being fearless and brave and courageous out in the collective, and putting yourself, your expression, your creations out here for the rest of us to work with, to work from, and to build on top of. So thank you truly for the work that you do. Anything you need from me, down in the description box, contacts, yada yada. We around. We've got lots more elementals to do before we can move on to full moon Capricorn, which we will be getting up ASAP. So make sure you stick around if you want more content. Check out other videos on the channel regardless of when that message was put out. If you're being drawn to a message, any tarot reader will tell you this. There's likely a message in there for you. So working on the new moon Cancer. We're getting her done. With the fire element, it's a wrap. I love you so much, and I will see you on your next reading.